Great honor, great pleasure to have you, Gulzhazira, to join us back at Nazarbayev University. So last time we meet each other, we met at my office. We talked about your new startup project, the GreenAR project, which is your passion. It is very closely related to your interest in sustainability projects, right? It's almost a year has passed.
Yes.
I really believe that you have many exciting stories to share. And let's perhaps start from the starting point. When you started this project of the GreenAR, what was your motivation and what was the original problem you set out to solve? And after this experience, how has your perception, your assessment of the problem and perhaps of the way that you want to solve it changed or evolved over this time?
Okay, yeah, sure. First of all, Professor Jiyang, thank you very much for having me. I'm very happy to see you after graduation of MBA. So I did my MBA from 2023 and 2025. I got my diploma on January 2025, and I did my startup during the 25, yes? Right now it's 26. So I'm just giving the background information in the timeline so that the people who watch would understand the timeline. So how I started the GreenAR. After completing the MBA, there was one slight change on my view. I started to look broadly. So before coming to MBA, I had only work experience in my field in environmental, as an environmental engineer. I would mention that I have graduated from the Penn State University as an environmental engineer. And since then, I had more than, almost 10 years of experience in the field, in a project team. So when I came to MBA, I came with this background. So I have only worked for some company in one organization, rather than that, I didn't have another experience. And I was doing the MBA so that maybe I could be in the leading positions. So I came to MBA with this idea. But after MBA and during the MBA, actually, there was a big change on my mind. And I want to mention about your classes as well as an entrepreneurship classes.
Right.
During the MBA, I heard the word in entrepreneurship and entrepreneur so many times. So it came so normal and natural to me. So it was not feeling something scared or something that I should be scared of. No, it seemed for me like normal. Yes, I can do that. Why not? Because, mentioning that my background, my family, we haven't been an entrepreneur. So my doctor works as a policeman, used to work. My mother, she is working in a bank industry. No entrepreneurs in my family, so I haven't seen that. Yes, after MBA, it was a big change. And I started looking around. So I haven't been only narrow to my field, but no, what else I can observe? What else I can do? Maybe there is a value that I can bring. And that's how the idea came up. So I remember it was at I think in the middle or by the end of March, I had the idea. Because let me mention that I'm also a mom. I'm raising a child and he's 9 years old. He's right now at school in the 3rd grade. And of course, I have one world being as a mom. And of course, I do the homework. I do with him. And my second world as an environmental engineer in the sustainability field. So the idea came to my mind, and one night, why not to combine these two main worlds for me? I can do that because I observe that the next generation, we call them alpha. Yes, alpha generation, they are so mature, they are so careful to the environment. It is not that feeling that you have in our generational. Like, for example, I gave up on my generation, seriously, to be honest, on millennials and the boomers as well, because they are and we are not so cared about the environment. But alpha generation, oh wow, you don't have to even teach them about that. It's like it is in their genes, caring about the environment and about the people. And I thought that if we would give them practical experience that I had before, 10 years of experience, it will be a big change in the future, in the long run. So it was more as a strategic thinking, for the future of Kazakhstan and the future generation. So the idea came up in one night, and I couldn't sleep until 5 a.m. I started Googling, I started reading, is there any experiences abroad? And I found out that there's eco schools. In UK, they have this program as a green school. And they have set all of the items, they have the website. And there are some of the other countries that also can take this idea in their countries as well. But I also noticed that there is no Kazakhstan in there. And of course, I said, why I would not do that? So it was only one idea, 2025 in March. And later on, I didn't know that this idea is called startup. That is so funny.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it's called startup. And when I started to think about it, of course, I tried to find people who work in the field, who works in the education field. And I met with one person. And while we were having the discussion and I was telling my idea, he said, oh, it's a great startup. And I'm like, startup? Yes, startup. And after that, I knew that it's a startup.
Now you relate to what you learned in entrepreneurship.
Now I named the startup. And later on, of course, we all have the social media and we have the Instagram. When you are ready and you are open to opportunities, they come to you. You start noticing them. I think that they have been these opportunities all around, but person who is not ready, he cannot notice it.
That's right.
So timing relates to that. And I saw there is one advertisement in social media, in Instagram, that there was a program called Global Clean Tech Innovation Program. It is here in Kazakhstan. It is international in connection with UNIDA, United Nations organization. And here in Kazakhstan, the responsible party, it is ICTIC, International Green Technologies. Yes, it works under the Ministry of Ecology. So they send the call. So there is a call for applicants. If you have an idea, if you have the startup idea, please feel free to join. No matter in what stage you are, if it is a idea stage or maybe you're in the middle of it, you can still apply. And I read through the requirements, and I have applied.
Mm-hmm. That was a year ago.
Yeah, it wasn't a year ago I have applied. I didn't expect that I would pass or something, because that was a big program, and Global Clean Tech Innovation Program, it is globally, yes, and in partnership with UNIDA, I mean, it is a big one. And especially when you are new to any startup, of course, you kind of feel scary. Yes. But surprisingly, I did it, yes. So after 1.5 months, there was a application result came out, and they said that we received more than 300 applicants. Yes, and through them, we choose only 51 projects. So here is the list. And there was a GreenAR startup is there. And I was so surprised. And at the same time, I was so happy. I mean, I felt inside of me that this startup has a very good idea and a mission and the values that it can bring to Kazakhstan overall. I felt it, but I was not sure.
Mm-hmm.
And when I received the approval, of course, I was happy. And then I started to work on that. Yeah.
That's a great start.
Yes. So that was the start. And nevertheless, I think that it is worth mentioning that at the same time, I have been working as a full-time job. Yes, I worked in the project that is funded by the World Bank in the construction of the road projects.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing it simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
Being as a single mother, you cannot afford just to work on your startup, because startup doesn't bring you money. It's not gonna pay your bills in the beginning. So that's why here it's like strong thinking. It comes. You should make decisions. So that was one of the points that I want to mention. So it is not just you are in some clouds, thinking about startup, it is fluffy. No, there is a reality as well. So you should think about that as well.
That's really tough. How you managed all these different tasks, also all very important tasks. And that's a great start of how you, what motivated you and what was the initial problem you aimed it actually to solve it. And then we also know that in the world of startups, change is only constant, right?
Yes, so change is only the constant. It's true. So how I managed it? So when I was doing my MBA, I was telling that I had 3 full-time jobs. One full-time job as being a mom. Second one, you have one full-time job as an MBA student. And third, I had full-time job,
I didn't know.
Now you know.
I know, yeah.
But I'm very thankful to my management that they said that I can do my MBA, until the lunchtime. So then after lunchtime, I can do my work. And they were result orientated. As long as I bring the result, I can show them the work. That's the most that they cared about. So I'm very thankful for that opportunity that I managed it. And then while I finished the MBA, juggling through around as being a mom and doing a job, of course, it's complicated, but I'm happy that I found some energy and willingness to try something new, because your life is going on. And I'm in my 30s. Yeah, it was like 33 and 34. Of course, you want to try new thing. And I do believe that it's worth it, even though that it's challenging.
Great. Could you share also on how this project has evolved over the time?
Yes.
We know that many startup projects,
Yes.
they pivot. Like the
Sure.
YouTube started as a dating website, right?
Yeah.
Also, Instagram started with a company called Bourbon with so many redundant features. Later, it just dropped from its core offering. I wonder, with your GreenAR project, whether you have experienced some of the important pivotal moments that you have to change, maybe the business model, maybe the customer segmentation, or maybe change the whole path in a way that is totally unrecognizable.
Yes.
Maybe some of the pivotal moments you still remember very well.
Yes, let me bring that. So I'm very thankful for this program that's organized by the ICTIC, International Green Technologies here in Kazakhstan, because they give this opportunity for newly startup founders to elaborate on their startups, to try new thing. Because I had some mentors. I had one mentor in a climate field. I had one mentor as a technical, and one mentor as an IT, because my startup has also was connected with IT. We were planning to do the program. So in this path, when you have someone, it is really great, because there was some moments when you feel down, you feel not energized. And one of my mentor, his name is Alexander, he would talk to me, he would explain that it is okay, it is normal to have these feelings, because in the beginning you have this wow idea and you're so excited and you want to do that. You understand that it has very important mission for country. But in reality, you should face the reality. I thought that it will be valuable for all schools. I thought that we can start, we can do the pilot versions here in Astana, but this startup can be in kindergartens, in government school, in private schools, in colleges and universities. So I covered from the beginning till the end. Of course, this is how I saw how it should be in an ideal world. But
broad scope.
Yeah, it's a broad scope, and taking into account that there is only you and your energy and your time and your money. Of course, you cannot do all the stuff. And when I faced the reality, I went to government schools. I went to private schools as well, for example. And I found out that in government schools, they cannot, in a system level, they cannot use this startup and implement it in their school because of the educational, how to say it? Educational. So system doesn't allow them. So they only use that program which has been approved by the Minister of Ecology or some ministry, or the educational governmental institution.
Remember we talked about organizational inertia in the entrepreneurship class. Sometimes we can take advantage of it. Sometimes we might be hurt from this inertia.
And it was so hurtful, because we have so many governmental schools and they cannot do that just because of this system restrictions.
So this is one of the major pivots you have to make to narrow down.
And then customers. I narrowed down to private schools.
That's a smart move.
To the private schools. And in 2025, there was a new announcement about the Adal Azamat, and that this program should be taught in schools as well. And one of the fields, it covered environmental field. Yes. Yeah, but other than that, they didn't have some practical experience and they didn't want that. Yes. So here, when I came to private school, I tried to convince them that they have this problem.
Sometimes the customer needs to be educated.
Yes, they need to be educated. And, unbelievable how many people I talked. And first you talk about with a regular teacher. Then you talk with, in Russian it is Zavch. Maybe the second person after the director, you talk. And the third, you talk with the director. So your path is convincing everyone. Yes.
The whole management team.
Yes, all team. And third advice that I would give, you need to know to whom to talk, who will be financing it, because my first lesson learned that I didn't talk with a financial manager or director who can sponsor it. Yes, we can talk to teacher, we can talk with the director, yes, with the head of vice head, but we should talk about the financial director, yes, because the private schools, they have not sponsors, but shareholders, it's called shareholders. Shareholders. And of course, they are financing it. Who is going to finance? So that was another hard point. But overall, I really liked how they liked my idea. They told me, wow, it is such a great, it is a know-how, it is unique. And this is saying people who have worked in educational industry for 20 years. It was a big yes to me, and to hearing that feedback, it was also very great. And I also found out that these private schools, they have international accreditation. Yes, to receive that, you have to be sustainable.
Right.
Yes, you have to make something in your school to be sustainable and to show it. So that's why my startup idea was aligned with their mission. Yes, and in the future to receive this accreditation, it also helped them. It will help, yes. And one of the pilot version I had to make, I was happy to make is one of the private schools here in Astana, and it was very good. And while I have been continuing my journey with GCIP, Global Clean Tech Innovation Program, it was continued, and there was another competition as well. So from 51, they choose they choose 15 best projects, and I was one of the semi-finalists. So I got to that point because I showed the result, and I showed the result because for being as a beginner and as an idea just starting with an idea, it was a big step. And they
Right.
told me that you really did a great job, because doing the pilot projects and seeing the result, conducting the surveys, and imagine that I've been doing it alone.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yes, I at some time, of course, I felt so tired. Yeah, I didn't have energy, but I was driven by the energy of the mission and of the view, how it went.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get to the semi-finalist, and I was happy for that. And there was a final competition, and you had to present the idea in front of the jury. And there was a jury from the different spectrum, and there were very tough questions. And because the jury, every one of them are very expert in one field. And of course, they ask you very specific questions, yes. And when they ask very specific question from the educational background, of course, it was challenging for me, because I'm an expert in environmental field. Yes, I'm not the expert in teaching, Of course, I did some teaching in my experience, but overall, I mean, this field is new for me. So it was challenging. I'm not going to say that I have failed, but I didn't pass to the final. I think that certain points, that how I started and how evolved, it already showed the big step.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the right mindset for sure. I think in many places, and this view of seeing serial entrepreneur, when you start your business again after again and again, as an experience, as a benefit, as a plus, takes time to grow.
Of course.
Right. So Silicon Valley is already the place. In some part of the Chinese entrepreneur ecosystem, people give a plus to those who are starting their second, third business, right?
Yes.
That's why exactly that experience is what matters most for your next project, the future projects. It's quite impressive how you showed this major pivoting moment starting from a grand view. Then you intersected with the reality. Then you decided it's sensible to narrow down and to have a better click with your ultimate customer, the private schools. So I think this is a very educational insights that I'm taking from your entrepreneurial experience. And also, you mentioned something very interesting, organizational inertia. In some of the big schools, the big public schools you have interacted with. Previously, you also worked with large corporations. You had experience working with some of the most respected international companies, TCO and World Bank, on sustainability projects, right? So there, I knew that you must have acquired a lot of very detailed, up-to-date technical sustainability standards through those experience. Meanwhile, I wonder, I can imagine maybe that there you also get exposed to how those big organizations approach change. Mm-hmm. So that kind of process knowledge, I wonder whether those kind of perspective, those experience affected how you view the reality of entrepreneurship and institutional challenges that you later on take on directly.
Yes, sure. Yeah, let me share you the background experience that I have very shortly. Mm-hmm. So previously, I have worked in Tingish Royal Company in the project called Future Growth Project. And the budget of this project was $50 billion. So it was a very big project in the oil and gas industry. We are constructing the third generation oil and gas plant. So it was a big project, because it has been financed by the IFC Corporation. IFC, it is International Finance Corporation, and the World Bank. And the projects that has been financed by the International Finance Organization, IFIs, they have to follow their standards, environmental standards, and they're higher than the environmental code of Kazakhstan. And of course, when you are doing this project, you have to follow these guidelines. So, by working in Tingish Royal, it was a very good experience for me in a practice, because I was in the field and I saw it. And in reality, it was the same how it is written in paper. So here it is main point, because not every time what you write in the paper is reality on the field. But in Tingishi Royal, specifically in that project, it was same. I mean, procedure says that way, you will follow this procedure. So that's why I loved it. I loved it, my work experience in that field. Talking about the road construction financed by the World Bank, of course, there is a World Bank big environmental standards as well, ESFs, International Environmental Social Framework, it's called ESF. And you follow them. I saw a big difference between oil and gas industry and the road construction industry. But I can see that in the road construction industry, they are trying to work more on environmental field, so there is a big difference. So with that background and having the startup, and you see how it works. Yes, for example, in the startup field, I was happy to see and to work with people from different backgrounds. In the project, there is only one field and it's fixed, yes. But doing the startup, you meet so many people with different background. Some of them are 15 years old, 18 years old, 21 years old, 30, some of them 40, and some of them 50 years old. And all of them have different experience, different lifetime. And I had a chance to talk to not each of them, but most of them. And I asked how it is going as being entrepreneur. So, and I noticed that most of the people who are in my age or older, they try to have one main job, for example, and do it as a hobby, as a startup. Yes, because taking into account the economy and the real world, I think that most of the people, they understand that as doing the startup and working on that, it is not, you're not going to receive the fixed money every month. No. So for 1 month, you get big cash, but another 3-4 months, you have no cash at all. So that was the experience that the startup founders have as being entrepreneur.
So this is a perfect point that you have mentioned. So let's build on this idea of how you have connected with your customers. And we also talk about like one of your posts where you mentioned about how you reflect on the learning experience, the importance of continuous learning and learning how to learn, right?
Yes.
And I think this really connects very well with what you're talking, because you're describing what you are learning through this journey. Maybe let's relate to this reflective notes you have written before. Talk about there might be some assumptions you previously have held about entrepreneurship. What is perhaps one of the assumptions you realize eventually is the most different from reality? What shocked you? Your previous belief about entrepreneurship turned out not to be the case. Is there anything you wanted to highlight?
Yeah, so the things that I have been shocked. Yes. So previously I had the assumption that, all of the customers are waiting for you, waiting for your solution to come to this world.
But the demand may not be as real as
demand is not as real, yes. Even though that it is cool, yes, it is needed for the world, but it cannot be in demand.
Yes. So you did your survey, right? Let's say how that survey ended up to be different from the reality.
Yes. So in reality, first of all, customers, they do not know that they are in demand of this. Yes, because during this timeline, I think that Kazakhstan, of course, they are doing small steps in improving the sustainability field and the environmental education, but we are not doing yet the big step, So that's why organizations, they do not know that they have this demand, first of all. And besides schools, I have actually also have surveyed some of the business owners, for example, as well, with another idea. And I can see that they don't see this as demand as well, because I tried to look at it from different angles, and I saw how small business owners are struggling with the taxes, for example, yes, with another payments, with new tax code here in Kazakhstan. And besides then, so gross margins that they have after the doing business, it's relatively, comparatively smaller, actually. So that's why, of course, I think that they want to save in environmental field. So that's why not many people, they do something in environmental. Yeah. And I have even tried, doing some videos, educational videos. I have hired the producers, videographers, and we shot 10 or 20, I think, some of the videos as well. Educational videos also, yes, it was helpful. And I have reached to one of the small business owners organization as Dodo Pizza. I had one idea. Yeah, and this video went viral, and I even texted in Threads. There was a app Threads. I was curious why I'm not reaching the Dodo Pizza, for example. And the next day, the marketology guy, he reached out to me via WhatsApp and said, that's a great idea. Thank you very much for bringing it up. Let me discuss it with the management, and we'll see how we can do that. So that was also a big step. And later on, I think several months later, I saw the result. They have published that now Astana citizens, if you want to recycle the box, box from the pizza, for example, you can come to these locations and do the recycling. So there was a big announcement. I'm like, oh wow, I was so happy. And this guy marketology from Dodo Pizza, he said, thank you very much for an idea, and that thanks to you, we brought up and we have found out that. So it was one of the I think examples.
Looks like the demand is there.
Yeah, looks like. So in the beginning they didn't know.
Yeah.
In the beginning they didn't know.
I have some good news for you too.
Yeah?
So you mentioned about you start this business and you realize that the educational market is smaller than you anticipated. Also, I think what you mentioned was Dodo Pizza, that they start to see that there is a business value in the sustainability as a part of their business or as part of their marketing campaign, that they can see the value in it, right?
Of course.
So we also see it as an educational institution. Since you have graduated, actually 2 years ago, NUGSB started actually to offer in the MBA program, environmental, social, and governance factor in business. So now it's a core course. Basically, we as a business educational institute also seeing exactly the same trend you have been observing, right?
Thank you. Yeah. After I have graduated, you got this.
So you're already the expert. So for you, there's some marginal value to add, but it shows both of the observation and the analytics converging, that we're believing there's the way to go, right? And so we see that this is an importance. If we look at globally, the importance of ESG is rising. There seems to be more and more opportunity arising in Kazakhstan as well, in education, in other fields as well. Drawing on your experience with GreenAR, the startup, EdTech, a green tech startup, drawing on your previous experience with UN, right? So you also had UN Green School experience. So you have worked in the sustainability aspects from startup world, from more institutional kind of angle. And if you are to give some advices to some young professionals who is also interested in pursuing sustainability projects, but they perhaps are not so sure about whether to pursue this direction through a startup or through joining some big projects or somewhere in between, some other paths, what kind of suggestions, advices you would give these aspiring young professionals?
I would definitely say, so first of all, my first advice will be try to have the real experience and work in projects that has been financed by IFIs, because over there you will see the standards and how it can be implemented. So based on your experience in this kind of project, you can build the future as well. And I think that second thing, my advice would be, it will be worth it if you try the startup. Because yes, it will be worth it because it is completely different world. It is very interesting. Yes, I agree that 90% or maybe more than 90% of startups, they die at some time. Yes, not everyone succeeds. For example, the startup Hicksfield, it's one of the, million startups that has succeeded, yes. And number one and only from Kazakhstan, I think. But there is a big opportunity. But to reach that, you need to understand the demand. What is the demand in the real world? So you cannot come with an idea that is not in demand in Kazakhstan here where you live in. So you should first understand the demand. To understand the demand, you should have worked in some projects. Yes. So after then, we can bring that value. I think that would be my advice. Because while I have been doing this startup idea with a project, and I think by the end of 2025 and in the beginning of 2026, I have been receiving invitations. For example, I have been invited to work at one of the UN organizations, yes, as an environmental consultant in green schools. Imagine previously, I think more than 5 years ago, I had a dream to work at UN. It was my dream. But at that time, I didn't know that if you don't have the master's degree, you're not going to pass even this interview stage. Because previously I have applied to UN, but I haven't even get the interview.
You had very good education already.
Yes, I already had the very good bachelor, but since I didn't have the master's degree, I wouldn't pass the interview section. So that was a big news for me, how I didn't know that. And after doing the MBA, of course, I could fill in this master's degree. And I have applied once, but I didn't get the job. And I have applied the second time after having this experience with the GreenAR startup and with the startup world as well. In green schools, I had the interview, not only with the interviewing team, but I had also the interview with the general director, so with the big boss of the UN, one of the UN organization. I'm not telling which one, but one of them. And surprisingly, so I think that in the beginning of 26, I understood what it is hunting from the working company, working as organization is. Because previously, in the beginning of my journey, I was the one hunting. I was hunting the job organization. I was running for them and after them, yes. But after having such a broad experience, practical experience, and startup experience, yes, they start hunt you. You know, so that feels so cool. That feels so cool. And I saw that it's really my dream come true.
Yeah.
But
there's a but. There's a but.
There is a but. Yes, I didn't anticipate that I'll make another decision. So previously, as I answering to your question, how you will balance being a mom and having the job. So you have to make the decision. Because I had, as one of the options at UN, my dream, yes. And another one, I had as one of the options working as in one of the most strategic projects here in Kazakhstan right now. It is the construction of the nuclear power plant. So it is a very big project. And you understand that it is a very big project for your country. So I was thinking where I can bring my value or where I can bring my experience to the most so that it will be good not only for the company but for the country as well. Yeah, so it was very big and tough decisions
between you and this
yes,
Outland
it was
project.
very tough decision. You can't imagine how long nights I have been thinking,
Meanwhile, you were pursuing this GreenAR project.
Yes. Meanwhile, and it was so complicated, seriously, yes. And the UN organization project is only lasts for 1 year. And after then, you have to look for funding, for sponsorship. So it depends if it will be prolonged, the project. It will depend only on you and on the funding. But I also understand the political situation. For example, right now, yes, USAID has been spread by Donald Trump. I mean, there was not such big funding right now is going on in sustainability field. You understand that. So while you make decision, you think of every aspect. This project, construction of nuclear power plant, it's a big project. It has a very big meaning for for your country, and it is not for 1 year. For a single mom to have project for 1 year, it's very stressful. Yes, because you need to think about the next step, your next move. And since previously I have already worked in project that is, you don't know it's gonna be prolonged for the next year or not. I mean, road construction. I can't say I was lucky or not, but our contractor was very good, and he constructed the road in 1.5 years. So, yeah, it was very tough decision, and I made my decision, and I decided to join the team of the construction of the second nuclear power plant. Yeah, it's called the second one. And I made the decision, even though that it was painful, I mean, inside. But I believe that it is not an end, it is a life journey. And of course, you will make some decisions in your lifetime. Right. But I do believe that maybe later on, or maybe in parallel, I can come back to it, because I already have this experience. I already have met these people, and I know what is it. And now I'm very open, and I know where to look at, and where to look the demand. Where is the demand? Yes, and to understand that clearly. So maybe in the future, I believe that I can come with the solution, which is in demand, in real world.
Yeah, this goes back to your advice to other entrepreneurs who might try to identify the opportunity, right? So you mentioned about it makes sense to first work with some established organizations to gain the experience, better understanding of the customer and the social network. So once you try to start the business, you're ready.
Yes.
From the team setup perspective, from customer acquisition perspective, I think that goes very well. With also what has been found in the research, other than what has been popularized in the media, right?
Yes.
When we look at some of the most phenomenal entrepreneurs, we look at them as college dropouts.
Yeah.
But actually, most of the successful entrepreneurs, even in the Silicon Valley, they're in their 30s, they're in their 40s. They have worked in big organizations. They knew what is lacking in that market. And they also have all the people they can connect it to set up the business, right? Just like in your position.
Yes. And, when I have been making this decision to get back to some work, yes, rather than continuing full-time as a startup founder, also I felt a little bit ashamed. But I mean, why you cannot continue this? You should continue maybe this, the startup, but you understand clearly that you can't. And what helped me actually to set in mind in a good way? I was reading the book of the Nike founder by the Phil Knight. I think in English it is shoe dog something. Yeah, but in Russian it is продавец обуви. So this is very good
It's
book.
autobiography.
Yes, yeah, and I'm highly recommending this to read if you want to pursue the startup as a founder. I highly recommend, because he went through the same feelings that I have been the same. So he said that he was working as a full-time job in one of the company auditing. He was doing the audits, and he was working in PwC company. And he started working with shoe. Yes, at that time it was Nike. It was not Nike. It was called as Blue Ribbon. Yes, but he didn't quit his job. and he didn't quit his job for 5 years. And he shared his thoughts on that, and he said that the expenses, my new startup, it doesn't cover the full expenses of its general director. So that's why he was continuing to do his job. And in parallel, he was pursuing his startup. And only after 5 years, when he had some stability, he quitted the job. And I'm like, it is so me. Because I also have that feeling that maybe I should go and continue the startup and I will leave everything. I don't know for what I'm gonna leave.
In the most ideal situation.
Yes, in ideal situation. And they're like, thank you very much. Yes, and I think it definitely helped me to stay positive and to see the right side.
For sure. But, reflecting on your experience, reflecting on the challenge you're dealing with, I do believe that you're dealing with a more kind of a challenging kind of situation professionally and also in terms of your family obligation. You always struck me, impressed me as very dedicated, disciplined, and for sure talented female professional.
Thank you very much.
And also in a sector of very few other women in these particular kind of energy and construction, all these important fields requires environmental sustainability focus, right? So, meanwhile, we all know that you're a caring mother and have a lot of responsibility trying to do the best job you can for your kids. We understand that. I'm a parent myself. I have 3 kids, right? But I'm not a mother. So I can only start to imagine the challenges, the delicate trade-off, right? You have to really juggle to balance as a dedicated professional. Meanwhile, also as a fully responsible, caring mother. Could you share with me, beyond my imagination, some of the specific moments when the challenge, when the choice become very kind of pressing for you to really to deal with them in the most kind of challenging way, and how did you eventually overcome it? And perhaps one or two of the stories you remember.
So how I make decision as being, for example, a single mom and pursuing this career, and very serious career as an environmental engineer. So I think at each timeline, you prioritize one thing over another thing. So this is how it works. You cannot balance everything at one time. Anyway, at one specific time, work goes first. Another specific time, child goes first. And you should not forget about yourself as well. Because you are the main person here. You should take care of yourself because it is important that you will be healthy. Yes, and you can work, you can make the living, and you can do everything for your child. Yes, so you should take care of yourself as well. One specific example would be, for example, when my son was in his 3.5 years old, I chose to pursue the career as a shift worker. So I went to the field for 28 days. So I would leave my child for 28 days and come back, and I would be home for 28 days. So that's why my son, he went to kindergarten very early. He was not talking at that time. It was challenging, but I understood that us, like a family, we need that right now for our good future. Yes. So after then, I was able to get, for example, one small house for us. I was able to get the car for us. This is the comfort that I'm doing for 2 of us. And yes, you have to make that decision, the trade-offs. So when he was 3.5, I was doing the shift work, and I'm very thankful for my parents and for my brother. He's younger than me. They helped me a lot. I mean, he would take my child from the kindergarten, he would leave, he would take care of him when he was sick. But when he turned 6.5 and closer to 7, when he was going to the 1st grade, he told me, "Mom, why you're not working in Astana For example, my grandma works in Astana, my grandpa works in Astana, and even my brother, not brother, uncle, he works in Astana. Why you are not working in Astana? And of course, yes, it's a good point,
Yes, very inquisitive mind.
Yes, and after that, of course, I started looking for a job in Astana. And actually, that's how I joined the team of working in the World Bank project, the road construction. So I listened to my son, and then I pivot, I switch. So that's why I make this. I try to do the balancing. And since my son, he has a working mom, good professional, that's why right now he's raising as a independent child. He does his own chores at home by himself. So I teach him because he doesn't have this prestige for his mom to be all around all the time. No, he doesn't have that. So he's learning everything. He's washing his dishes. He prepares his books. He does homework by himself. So everything that maybe other children, they do not do by themselves, that's how I'm teaching. So that it will benefit him in the future as well, because as a grown man, he'll be ready for real life as well. And so I think that so far so good, and we are doing very good as a team.
It's really a beautiful experience, a beautiful story. You listen to your son's his inquisitive question about why mom is not around me, and that question, that attention, leads you to a new professional opportunity in the UN, this construction projects, right? So the two, we normally perceive family obligation and professional commitment as the two ends of the spectrum. But what you did is you paid attention, particularly to your son's, his need, his sensitivity, and that leads you to also benefits in the professional ends.
Definitely.
That's rewarding to hear. It gives us hope, optimistic reason to think things could work in a more synergistic direction between family obligation and professional commitment.
And I remember one observation. So when I was doing the interview with UN organization, one of the person, he told me, we like how energetic you are. You are full of energy, and you are doing it by your own. There is no one who's telling you to do it. So this is unique actual skill. Not many people have that skill. Most of the people, they wait when someone will bring something to their table to do something. But no, you are so, how to say it? Looking at everything, trying it, seeing that. So this is a skill very needed in real life.
There's a high sense of responsibility, of also conscientious attitude to your work. That's where I think that you really fit into the very high professionalism bar.
Yeah.
Related to that, my final question that I think you will inspire many others because this great job you have done in balancing a different side of your life, right? There are other female professionals who might be standing at the same crossroads as you once have been. So you have to make difficult decisions. You have tried to balance the two sides of your professional and family life. So what are your final thoughts for other young female professionals who is also thinking about how to pursue their professional dream, whether to do so through some startup projects or through some kind of corporate life, and how to balance their responsibility in their family role? Well, what's your final thoughts to suggest?
Final thought. Let me think about. So I think that first of all, I would say to younger generation to believe in themselves and to know that they can do it. They can do it. And not only for the younger generation, but ladies in my age as well. Because I can see that, unfortunately or fortunately, I can say that many ladies, women, they graduated from top universities and from abroad as well. But after they get married and after they give birth to child, they forget about the career and they only become as a mom. I'm not blaming it. I mean, it is everyone's choice. But actually, statistically, country is losing a lot of money economically, taking into account that many women, they stay at home.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why my advice would be passionate about something. Be passionate about career. Be passionate about the startup. I don't know, be passionate about something. So you should not lose this passion inside of you. I know that women, they have many responsibilities here in this world. They have responsibilities. They have many roles. They have role as a daughter. They have role as a mother, role as a wife, as an aunt. You know, they have so many roles. But first of all, you should not forget the role of yourself. It is you. It is you. And the first, it should go you. So do not forget yourself in this world. Know and remember what you want. If you don't know what you want, try to find it. Do different things. Yeah, it is worth it. And when the person is passionate, this person will be happy. It will be very happy. So do not lose yourself in marriage. Do not lose yourself in maternity. And do not lose yourself in a professional world as well.
It's powerful. Yeah. It's powerful because you're not only saying that, you're doing that.
Yes.
You have been doing that.
Yes.
I think that this is the most powerful words I have really heard in a while. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much
for sharing your experience. This is such a wonderful pleasure to engage in this very reflective and informative and educational conversation.
Thank you very much. I was happy to share my experience, and I hope that it will be very valuable for other people as well.
Welcome you back to our school more often to update the latest story and the latest accomplishment. We can celebrate together. Yes. We can also think together and improve together.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. Thank you very much.